mainstream media are reeing at the top of their voices because apparently men are watching the Barbie movie wrong, and they're not getting the political and ideological messages of uber feminism. No, we're watching it absolutely correctly. Barbie just happens to be one of the best satires that we've seen in a long time. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface wearing my I Am Kenough t-shirt in solidarity for my brother from another mother, the hero of the Barbie movie, Kenneth, aka Ken, a guy who rose up and decided to tackle the oppressive matriarchy of the Barbie society where the Kens have no rights, no positions of power, they don't even have a roof over their heads at night to sleep. No, they exist purely to give the Barbies attention when the Barbies deem them fit and worthy enough to give it to them. But he went out into the real world and he brought back to Barbie land patriarchy? No, that's what they decided to call it in the movie. But even in the movie, the women say patriarchy doesn't exist. And Ken thought the patriarchy was just about liking horses, so don't worry about that. He went and saw another way of life and he came back to Barbie land and he brought back equality, where both the Kens and the Barbies lived in happiness together until stereotypical Barbie returned back to Barbie land and brought back the oppressive matriarchy, casting out the Kens once again, making sure they had no positions of power, no say, and no roof over their head. However, Ken was set free to go out there and find somebody who would reciprocate the love that he wanted to bring to his Barbie. Someone that would see him as an equal, that would treat him as an equal, that he can settle down with and have a happy life. Now, if that isn't a based ass movie, I don't know what is. However, we're being told by the mainstream media that men, they're watching the Barbie movie wrong. No. You're not seeing all the feminist messages in there. We are, but this is the problem. What happens when you go so extremely woke? You become everything that you profess to fight against. You become the racist, the sexist, the misogynist. You become the bigot, the homophobe, because you've gone to such an extreme, you've gone round in a full circle. And it's just the same with this film. This film is so woke with its messaging that unfortunately it goes so far to the extreme that it does the flip reverse and turns it into satirical parody. And it highlights every single solitary thing wrong with modern day ideology, modern day feminism, intersectionality. It's a perfect blend. I truly, honest to goodness, cannot see how you can not view this movie in that light. And that's why I liked it. That's why I came out going, I had a good time. I had a giggle. I had a laugh. Even if you haven't seen the film, you've most likely seen on social media Ken singing his song, I'm Just Ken.
'Cause I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Is it my destiny to live a life? Oh. You still here? But in that, there's a line that says, I'm stuck here with my blonde fragility. Now, of course, woke people are claiming, that's blonde fragility, white fragility. But no, you see, there's no fragility with the Kens, because the Kens exist in an oppressive society. So how can they be fragile? The Kens just want to please the Barbies. That's all they've ever wanted to do. So how can they be fragile? It's impossible. They exist in a society where the women live perfect lives, where they give each other fake Nobel Prizes, where they have a fake Supreme Court, when there's no crime in Barbie land because it's perfect. But as soon as equality is brought to Barbie land and it falls apart, where does the fragility come from? Well, it comes from stereotypical Barbie, who's blonde. So in reality, Ken is actually singing about Barbie's blonde fragility and having to deal with that. Told you, this movie's based as fuck. Ken is absolutely right in the song. He is a 10. Everywhere else, he would be a 10. But he wants to stay and be with the woman he loves, Barbie. She's the one who rejects the love, the security, the companionship, the equality of a man and a woman together living in harmony. And just like the film, this article's the same. It says men are watching it wrong, and then proceeds to list multiple reasons why they're not. Greta Gerwig thought she was making a Barbie movie, but certain men saw an entirely different film, some accusing it as sexism and others heralding it as pro-patriarchy awakening. I wouldn't say pro-patriarchy awakening. As I've just discussed, patriarchy in itself has no meaning in this movie. It's a fake word. It's a fake word that actually is a substitute for bringing equality back to Barbie Land. I see it as a film that sees men and women as equals living harmoniously together is wrong in the eyes of the oppressive matriarchy of Barbie, which of course is representative of the ideology, the modern day feminist. Based. Barbie's dominated the box office. Yes, it has. My hope for the movie is that it's an invitation for everybody to be part of the party and let go of the things that aren't necessarily serving us as either men or women. Well said. Modern day feminism, intersectionality. Those are two things which can be pushed to one side so that men and women can just get on as they always have been, with their own strengths and their own weaknesses, their pros and their cons. An understanding that masculinity isn't wrong or bad or evil, and femininity isn't weakness or being oppressed or anything like that. I absolutely agree with you, Getter. Based. I hope that in all of the passion, if they see it or engage with it, it can give them some of the relief that it gave other people. As I've stressed, I had a lot of fun with the film. I laughed at a lot of places and I got out of it what I thought was the only thing that you can get out of it, that this was a biting satire on the absolute state of ideology, modern day feminism, and intersectionality, and how it only serves to destroy the relationships between men and women. All the Kens in the film have to be buff, abs, six packs, chesticles, pectacles, just ripped to fuck, handsome, even to get a single solitary look for an oppressive matriarchal Barbie. Whereas the Barbies, they don't have to exist to that standard. They can be fat, ugly, weird. Some of them aren't even women, for goodness sake. They're not held to the same standards at all. It's a complete and utter sham of a society, because that's what intersectionality, that's what victim culture, that's what modern day feminism is. Based! The article continues though, but apparently everyone does not see the party the same way. Shapiro and Texas Senator Ted Cruz and broadcaster Piers Morgan has spoken out against what they see as the movie's woke agenda, while other vocal social media users have praised the movie's storylines for reasons Gerwig might not have expected. Well, look, if you're going to Ben Shapiro for a review on Barbie, I don't know what to say to you. You get what you fucking deserve, I guess. But this movie isn't woke. I think it's far from woke. I think inadvertently it throws all of the woke shit in as much as possible, which converts it into satire and converts it into parody. So either Greta Gerwig is so stupid that she actually thought the woke messaging in itself would release the female voice to denounce the patriarchy and come out and throw down their man and burn their bras and only start to apply for positions of CEO in a company, or she herself understood that this is damaging if you want to live in a society harmoniously man and woman. I won't be so cruel as to make the determination myself. Yeah, I think it's totally the first one, by the way. But let's just skip past Ben Shapiro, Ted Cruz, and Piers Morgan. Then we get on to this. This is the important tweet here. The most interesting thing about the Barbie movie is Ken's bloodless revolt against the Longhouse. The Longhouse being the current political climate, the current ideological climate, which of course is one of intersectionality, one of victim culture, modern day feminism, denouncing masculinity, denouncing femininity. That's everything that you can take in a broad term for the Longhouse. You are Ryan Gosling. Gosling is Ken. Ken is Prometheus. And perhaps you are too. Prometheus, of course, who stole fire from the gods. Let's take a look at the parallels between Ken's world and ours, because it does represent the hideous rise of wokeism, intersectional feminism, etc. Exit from the Longhouse. Ken in his fur coat and his 2 pairs of sunglasses. That was funny. Of course, with the Longhouse, a representation of the Longhouse in literal terms, burning to the ground. Because this is absolutely spot on. Here we go again. This is another great one. The man-hating allegations towards Barbie are false. Correct. Because it's gone so far woke, it's now satirical. So it doesn't hate men. It's saying, why are you excluding men from our society? Why are you placing tags on them that don't exist? Why are you denouncing masculinity when they're very important to a society where men and women exist together? I absolutely agree. Gerwig clearly makes the point that Kens in Barbie's world under the matriarchy are unable to forge their identities for themselves and must rely on women for their self-worth, and that this is bad. Agreed. It showed that message through and through. These are the only things that I could take from this film. It's based, inadvertently so, quite possibly, most likely. But regardless, it's actually based. In the corner of Morgan and Shapiro, who believe Barbie is sexist, there are also women. Conservative broadcaster Candice Owens said she refuses to see the movie for its anti-man agenda. No, Candice, go see it. It's actually pro-male. It's pro-equality. While we are pretending that women are suffering under the foot of the patriarchy, what's exactly happening is that the toxic feminism has risen to the top and is actually oppressing men with movements that make entirely no sense. I absolutely agree. And so does the film. Because Ken believes the patriarchy as a terminology is just riding horses. When he goes back and the Barbies are happy and the Kens are happy, as the film itself says, that's not the patriarchy. It's just a made-up word. It's actually just Kens and Barbies living harmoniously, which they haven't been able to do because of the oppressive matriarchal society that currently exists. Whoopi Goldberg, jeez, says of The View, in response to Shapiro and Ted Cruz, it's a doll movie, guys. I'm shocked that's what you're freaking out over these days, because it's the job of an intersectional feminist to downplay intersectional feminism messaging. I'm sorry, witch, but your spells won't work on the based. Oh no. I'm Kenough, woman! I'm Kenough! Whether or not Greta Gerwig intended this to be how people perceive her movie, to be honest with you, I don't think she really cares. She might actually embrace it because it's set to become most likely the biggest grossing movie of the year. It's doing spectacularly at the cinema. And as I've personally said, I had a lot of fun with it because I could only see the messaging for exactly what it was. Extreme wokeism being turned on its head and exposing every single solitary thing wrong with intersectionality, the wokeism, the Longhouse, whatever you want to call it, of today. And I'm seeing plenty of women that are going to see this film that are seeing that themselves and just having a great time. And why are they having a great time? Well, a lot of women, for the first time in a long time, can be feminine. They're embracing the color pink. They're buying blonde hair dye, making themselves feel feminine. Because we've been told for so long now that masculinity's bad, femininity's weak, and all of this crap, when it's not true. These are traits that exist between men and women because that's what we are. Whether or not you want to get mad at the Barbie movie or embrace it, that's your prerogative to do. I'm not going to criticize anyone for it. It's just the way things are, unless you're Ben Shapiro, Ted Cruz, and Piers Morgan, in which case, whatever. But what I will say is this. I think Barbie does more to expose the problems with current day than it does to embrace them. And if in trying to embrace them, we get this type of movie, then I encourage more similar movies to come out that'll do the same. Because for the first time in a long time, I think they looked in the mirror after the fact and they realized what they had done and they saw exactly the parody and the satire that they're truly created about today's society and today's life. I'm okay with that. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.